some real shit is going on. And people are using deep fakes to try to justify these things to make them worse and worse. And all it's doing is discrediting the people in charge, which might get them taken out of office eventually. But the downstream effect and the backlash, it's here forever. It's not going away.
This is Robots, the podcast that tries to help you use technology to be a better human. And there's a lot of people not being very good humans right now. Some of them in the White House. But we're going to talk about the use of deep fakes, particularly in what's going on with the situation in Minneapolis. There's so much to keep track of. And Jason, you're doing a much better job of keeping track of it than I am. So please catch us up on the situation in Minneapolis.
I think the news is doing a much better job of targeting me because of where I sit. So
that could be it.
You fortunately don't have to listen to the consistent news feeds coming in towards you about how terrible things are and how the world is on fire, because advertisers apparently aren't trying to get Canadians to buy as many American products via a panic cycle. But, marketing, whatever. So we're living in a weird time. And especially
I hadn't noticed.
Right, exactly. Like it's not like chaos isn't exploding around us all the time.
January is the longest decade of my life.
Exactly. Well, so the thing going on in Minneapolis, if you break it down, the ICE is inside of Minneapolis, consistently going in there trying to do bad, nefarious things. And the bad, nefarious things they're trying to do are they're trying to find anybody of a certain skin color or with an accent and deport them, because the administration has put forward this notion that these are the things that have to occur. And I don't think there are a lot of people that are against getting violent criminals off the street. And that's the excuse that we consistently hear. But the reality is that they're not taking a bunch of violent criminals off the street. They keep talking about having thousands of violent criminals that they're pulling into custody. And it turns out it's just bullshit. They do show lists that show, 10, 15, 20 violent people in this scenario. But statistics show that immigrants are less likely to commit crimes and less likely to commit violent crimes because they don't want to get caught up in a legal system and be deported. They tend to be more compliant. They tend to actually pay their taxes. Like, even though, we're all concerned that they're taking free tax breaks from people, that's not the case.
Right.
And this comes down to a problem and a perception issue where we think immigrants are overrunning the country. And it's just not true. We're a country
I can't imagine where they would have gotten such a crazy idea.
Right. I mean, we're a country of immigrants. We came into the U.S. and we colonized, and we took the land from the native indigenous people. And, you and I both happen to live in the Pacific Northwest. And as a particular region of the country, there does appear to be at least some level of acknowledgement of that, and some idea that we should have some shame and guilt about what our forefathers did. Now, does that mean we have to own those pieces? No. However, the Trump administration and a lot of the MAGA folks are like, fuck that. Like, everybody's to blame for what we did except for us. And it's gross. It's yucky. So they decided they're going to go through and they're going to start having ICE drop into Minneapolis and start targeting people to try to have them round folks up. And I think if you look at it, the reason why they've chosen Minneapolis is because it's in Minnesota. It's a blue state, or at least the city was a blue city. And we've had the George Floyd incident happen before, in the same general vicinity.
I'm sure Tim Walz being the governor of that state had nothing to do with it.
Right, exactly, the vice presidential candidate. So, I mean, if you look at all the component pieces behind that, this is clearly targeting political opponents. And the president has made the citizens of Minneapolis his political opponent. He's not acting as their president. So he sent masked troops into Minneapolis to go through and try to enforce border protections. And they're making up laws and they're making up rules. And every time they go to the courts, they lose. Like, consistently, they lose. They lose over and over and over again. And when the courts actually take up the legal precedent for these cases, they lose over and over and over again. And they're trying to win the war of public opinion.
Yep.
And a really effective way to win the war of public opinion is to show imagery or to demonize your enemies in such a way that creates a sympathetic emotional argument for people to look at. Great. So we can look at Renee Good. It was really clear that she wasn't doing anything to harm these officers. She pulled her car up, she parked. They tried to rip her out
Yeah,
of a
that's only if you believe your own eyes, you big libtard.
exactly. So, but they tried to rip her out of a car. The guy that the piece of shit cop that shot her was holding his phone while doing it, using a known old ICE technique that they used to use on the border, which is to stand in front of the car while someone's trying to yank it over, and the person tries to run, and they say, "Oh, I felt threatened," and they shoot them.
Yep.
And the rules for ICE changed because that technique was being used over and over and over again to justify them killing people. And we went, hey, maybe killing people isn't the right way to do this. Well, clearly some people think it is. And the person in charge right now thinks that's the best route. And if you look at the video that was produced during that period of time, the video itself that the White House is releasing and that Trump is posting, he's posting bullshit video, things that have clearly been AI augmented, like the whole argument about were the tires pointed at this guy, were they pointed away, how were they turned, where was he standing, he clearly got hit by a car. It's bullshit. If you watch the raw video and you watch it go through, you can see he's not in the way. He didn't get hit by the car. He shot her not once, he shot her 3 times. And then when she drove away, there's his fucking video camera showing him walking towards her car, calling her a fucking bitch. Mm-hmm. And then they sit there and deny her medical attention by doctors that are right there. So they start creating videos and modifying them to justify their bullshit, bias, lies. And you get one side of the argument looking at the raw video going, the raw video says this, and then the other side comes and says, that's not the raw video, this is the real video. No, dude, like, it's nonsense. It's bullshit. You are trying to sell us a narrative that doesn't exist. And they're trying to sell us a narrative that doesn't exist because they're trying to create an emotional attachment to keep doing what they're doing. So then, last week, we had the murder of a male nurse who was on site filming people, First Amendment right, he's allowed to do that, who also had a concealed carry permit, who was allowed to carry his gun with him, and was not
because of that pesky Second Amendment thing that everybody's so excited about.
Exactly. Not brandishing it, not doing much of anything. He's there recording people. An ICE agent pushes a woman to the ground. He turns around while holding the camera going, "Are you okay?" The ICE agent gets up in his face and starts pushing him, and eventually takes him to the ground. And they find a gun on him. And 9 other people hold him down. They disarm him. And then one person shoots him. And then another person shoots him. And then that same person that shot him the first time shoots him again. He gets shoved to the ground by 9 people and shot 3 times. He's disarmed at this point. He's got no protection around him. He is defenseless. And these fucking cowards shot him.
Yeah.
Cowards. That's what they are.
Yeah.
And look, man, I have been in fights. I have had people confront me. If it was a situation where it was 9-1 holding somebody down, I don't feel that threatened anymore. Like, this is crazy. And these guys are supposed to have training. They're supposed to have tactics. And they're masked up.
And again, going back to the court of public opinion, now there are multiple AI versions of the images and the events that happened. And they even went as far as to release video of him, I believe, 7 or 10 days earlier, kicking an ICE vehicle, like kicking out the taillight of a vehicle to show this terrorist, this monster, Alex Preddy he needed to be stopped.
Yeah. It's nonsense. And they're creating different narratives. And there's other AI video that's out there showing him doing something else.
Yeah.
And then the latest is that you have
goes on and on
Don Lemon being arrested.
I just saw this.
For basically for filming inside of a church, a protest that was happening against a pastor who's also an ICE agent.
Yeah.
So the administration comes and arrests him. That's not the big thing. Like, they're a bunch of the administration's a bunch of lunatics. Don Lemon's not even the story. The story is that one of the ladies that was there, they have a picture of her being arrested. And the real picture is her face going, like stone cold, like, yep,
She's a civil rights attorney.
a
I believe
civil
it's
rights attorney.
Nikema Armstrong.
Yes. So Nikema Armstrong, the picture they took of her shows one thing, but the picture they released of her was completely AI augmented, and she's crying and bawling and wailing. Nonsense. This has nothing to do with them trying to justify her or paint her as something bad. This has everything with them trying to justify and paint her, or not justify, trying to paint her as someone who's weak because these
Yeah.
people came in and did this.
Right.
This is just manipulating the story, generating different narratives, trying to do things to put themselves in an advantageous position. And you know you're on the wrong side of conservative history when fucking Joe Rogan is saying, maybe this has gone too far.
Yeah.
Maybe this
And
isn't okay.
It's the danger here is you and I can look at that. Like we look at this slop all day long and we can do a pretty damn good job of picking apart what's real and what's not. Pretty sure we're still real last time I checked. But it's the people that can't, right? It's our moms, it's the older people, it's people that do not live online all day, and all they see is this picture when someone shows them, and they go, "Holy shit!" And they buy it completely because they are not. Trained is the wrong word. They're not used to trying to figure out what's real and what's not because this is a new world. We never had to look this closely before at an image to decide whether or not it's real. And I was just reading a study about how all of this stuff is breaking down people's trust, not only in the internet, but everything. Like nobody believes shit anymore. And this has been Trump's game kind of from the beginning, is just flood the zone with as much horse shit as people can possibly consume, and then flood it with even more so that they don't know where to turn. They don't know where to look. They don't know what to trust. So they just stop trusting everything, which is the biggest threat to our institutions, which is what they're trying to dismantle.
I have news for everybody.
Is this our first breaking news segment?
Breaking news, everybody. This is Trump's full indoctrination into the Putin playbook. This is exactly what Russia wanted. Russia wanted us to not trust each other. They wanted us to turn on each other. They wanted us to hate each other. They wanted us to tear each other apart from the inside, just like we did to the Russians back in the 80s and the 90s. This is psyops. We're losing. We have a dipshit in office who's easy manipulable, who plays in the heartstrings of easy manipulable people in his base. And it's really obvious, and it's easy to see, and it sucks. And now we're dealing with the fallout from this because we've got people that don't trust and don't believe anything that they're saying. They don't trust the government. They don't want these things to go through. They don't want to pay their taxes. Like, there's a trillion things that have gone wrong. And it's literally death by a thousand cuts of the American dream. And if you look at all the other actions that we're taking, invading Venezuela, international war crime, deciding we're going to go after Greenland, which is a property owned by one of our NATO allies. We're destroying our relationship with NATO. We're destroying our relationship with Europe. Europe is jumping, and they're going to create contracts with India and China. We're not going to be a global superpower soon. We're going to be isolated. We're not going to be number one. And that's okay. Like, we shouldn't be. Like, we're not trustworthy. We're not reliable. We are doing things that are bad. And we're actively embracing the worst of our instincts. And it's important to note that, this dude's not going to be in charge forever. He will die. And when Trump goes, his administration will go with him. There is not going to be a Donald Trump 2.0.
No.
Nobody else is that person. Nobody else is going to tie into those pieces. Nobody's going to be able to carry those things across. They'll try, but they won't do well. But the fracture and the damage is already going to be done. And the next administration that comes in and tries to work these pieces is going to have a really, really hard uphill battle to ever feel like they can be trusted again. Because really, they shouldn't be. Like, we've proven it. We've proven that we can't have nice things. And because we break shit and we don't care about each other and we'll say mean, terrible things and do awful stuff over and over and over again. And it hurts. And these deep fakes are like a really clear, pinpoint example of this stuff happening in real time.
And it's something that we've talked about this before, and this is sort of very quickly a worst case scenario that I think we were trying to kind of warn about. So I mean, while this is a very atypical conversation that we have on the show, we don't typically get this political and
Yeah,
current eventy.
right.
But at the central theme of it is somebody is using the kinds of tools that we're talking about to manipulate the world order. Like that's insanity. Like that is 1980s dystopian movie theme, right? Like and we're living it. Like it's crazy to watch. It's crazy to see coming so clearly and to see it happen as rapidly as it has.
Yeah. Well, and as predictable as it is, like
Yeah.
it's not like there haven't been people saying for the last decade that this is the shit that's coming, because they have. Like, we all knew this was coming. We all knew things are going to be used this way, and nobody pumped the brakes. Everyone's just like, yeah, whatever. I guess we're going to Thelma and Louise this motherfucker to oblivion. I mean, and that's what we're doing. Like, does that mean that, like, we're totally fucked and, like, everything's going to fall apart? Well, yeah, probably. You're all going to die. Like, just get used to that fact. If you just cite to yourself every day, none of this is forever because someday I get to die, that's not a healthy way to live. Like,
No.
but it might be a healthy way to exist right now in the current chaos that is. No pain is forever. Things will break. And
Well, I mean,
yeah.
As long as we're this political, I'll just say, like, it has been really interesting to see Mark Carney, Canada's leader,
Yeah.
step up and really kind of like to see somebody so clearly see a power vacuum and to easily step into those shoes and sort of adopt the world leader role.
Yeah.
Living on this side of the border in Canada, it's pretty magical to watch and to see having the role played so masterfully by somebody who clearly is the smartest guy in the room when it comes to, how this is being handled.
Yeah, like that contrast must be really nice to watch. I mean, we've on the West Coast here in the U.S., we've got Gavin Newsom. We've got governors that are in these blue states standing up and being like, no, fuck that. Like, we're not doing this shit. So, I mean, it's nice to know that there's still rational actors in play.
A few grown-ups. Yeah.
Yeah,
there's still a few grown-ups out there.
There's still, well, yeah. And there's still people that are working and thinking logically and empathetically, emotionally and ethically. And I think these are not conversations about politics. These are conversations around ethics. These are conversations around human rights and dignity. If these conversations are political for you, then you've chosen the wrong politics. Because holding somebody down who is disarmed by 9 people and shooting them has nothing to do with politics.
Yeah.
This has to do with ethics, power, rules of engagement, use of force, like
basic morality.
Right. and I'm on Facebook watching people that I know post things, and then their friends get on there and they post stuff, and some of the stuff people are posting, it's just like full on, no, they were justified to do this. That person shouldn't have been there, Well, why'd you get raped? You shouldn't have been wearing that dress. Like, it's all fucking victim blaming over and over and over again. And Renee Good being shot in the face and being told she can't be rendered care. If you think that's because of politics, you're an idiot. And I guess if you want to break everything down to politics, fine. Everything's fucking politics, and you're going to choose sides and you're going to stick with your side forever. But that's not the reality. Because if the shoe were on the other foot, this would be an ethical issue. It would be the immoral people saying these things are happening. And there does seem to be one side that gets to keep doing terrible shit and gets to feel justified in the way that they're doing it. And the other side's just supposed to put up with it.
Yep.
And this is not a politics issue. This is a right and wrong issue. And these motherfuckers are wrong. They made a bad choice. They chose to back the wrong person, and they're not backing away from it because it would create an issue for them cognitively where they'd have to actually admit that they were wrong to do this thing, that they see things fucking stuff up all around them. But there is hope because Trump's approval ratings right now are at an all-time low. 35%.
That's ridiculous.
It's insane. Dude, that's worse than Nixon.
Yeah.
And if you look at the statistics behind it, he has like 85% approval still from the Republican Party. Like 10%, maybe 0 for the Democratic side. And it's the people in the middle that have now shifted back over. Like, yeah, fuck that guy. They thought they were going to come in. He was going to come in and solve the economy issue. He was going to make things cheaper. Prices are up. Things are more expensive. We're killing people in the street for protesting and videotaping. We're creating international conflicts, invading sovereign nations, destroying our relationship with NATO, enabling other strongmen. Like, this isn't politics. This is basic human decency. Yeah. And one side doesn't have it. And it's on display. And the rest of the world sees it. And the rest of the world is turning their back on us. We are not the good guys in the planet anymore. We're not. I mean, when the members of the Catholic Church, when the members of the clergy, the Catholic Church and the Protestants come out and say, tell their parishioners and tell their staff that they need to prepare themselves for martyrdom, because what's happening right now is wrong. You have the people that are supposed to be your megaphone to your sky monster telling you that what's happening is so fucking wrong. You should be prepared to die for this cause. To fight against the government, to fight against what they're doing, you should be prepared to stand up and die. If that's not a clear sign that one side is good and the other side is evil, I don't know what the fuck is. Yeah. And you can't chat GPT your way through this one, guys. Sorry, you can't try to bro culture your way through this shit, because the bro culture is turning against them. So some real shit is going on. And people are using deep fakes to try to justify these things to make them worse and worse. And all it's doing is discrediting the people in charge, which might get them taken out of office eventually. But the downstream effect and the backlash, it's here forever. It's not going away. So happy Friday. Go Seahawks.
Yeah, at least I really wish we could have found something you were passionate about this week, because
football.
I don't know that you brought it. I don't know that you really showed up today.
Seahawks.
Oh yeah, and go Hawks. Go Hawks. Go Hawks, by the way.
Yes. If you're a Patriots fan, I wish you well. I wish you good luck.
I wish you the same feeling I felt the last time these two faced off in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Man. Well, this has been the Jason Show. I hope you've enjoyed it.
I don't know. I'm probably gonna have fucking ice on my doorstep here, never what I said.
No, you got the wrong skin color for that. It's gonna be fine. All right. Well, like we mentioned, at the heart of this, the reason we bring this up is because of the use of these technologies to advance this agenda that is clearly just ripping the entire world apart. Mm-hmm. So what you do with that, I don't know. I guess we're right alongside you in your concerns about this. If this is something you're concerned about, and if you're unaware of it, perhaps this has opened your eyes to something. Although even here in Canada, we know a little bit about what's going on in the current events in the US. So I'm pretty sure everyone's aware. But I guess we're right there with you and just struggling through these feelings and concerns about where this is taking us. So take that for what it's worth. I hope this has been helpful. If it has, join us again next Monday. We'll probably be a little bit less pissed off. We'll see. But you can do that at brobots.me and share this with anybody who needs to hear it. You can do that, again, with the links at brobots.me. We'll see you next Monday morning. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.